Good evening. Um, I'm having trouble with my computer again, so I'm trying to record with my phone, but I've never done that before. So let's see how that works for a long video. All right. Hi, my name's Sarah Edge. This is for the week 4 readings and discussions. So the readings this week were about technical elements like sound, which Catrone calls all sound that is in the play music, whether it is a song, background music, spoken word, or sound effects. And then about lighting, which would be considered part of spectacle um, when you're talking about Catrone's definition of spectacle. It's anything that's visual. So anything in the play would fall into some sort of spectacle or music, according to him. I never heard of that before, so I thought music was just songs and music that you dance to or in between the scenes or background music until I read that chapter. So I'm really glad that I read it because it gave me a different way to think about all of the different sounds in the show. My play is not a musical, so it's just spoken word. So I need to really think about the variations and the tones of the voices, especially to help keep focus with the audience so they know who to look at. I need to have a variety of voices, which is something that I'll have to consider during casting. Catrone really suggests having that be part of the criteria that you base casting on, not the number one thing, but definitely included if possible. Um, so I'm thinking about the different characters and what kind of voices they should have. Zeus should definitely be a bass. I would think Pandora would need to be a soprano. Gaia, the Earth Mother, is probably more of an alto, I'm thinking, and Epimetheus would be more of a baritone, and Prometheus maybe another bass, but we'll see. We'll see who tries out. I have a lot of girls trying out, not a lot of boys, so we'll see how it goes. Um, both books talked about how important it is to have a well trained sound crew who knows their cues and to practice those before tech week. So don't leave the sound and the lighting until tech week. The people who are going to be working on those things need to have training and be familiar with the equipment and the process and which sounds are going to be used before student actors are brought into tech week. So I'm going to be using students for those things. So I'm going to be having surgery over Thanksgiving. So while I'm out, I'm going to have the sub work with, I'm going to have the sub show the students some different snippets about different tech jobs and kind of see who's interested in doing those for the show. And then we can do some training on those um, and see who's going to be available for that. Um, was it Bauman suggested paying somebody to do sound, to be a sound tech for the show, if that's within the budget. That's definitely not within my budget. But they also said it's a good idea if you can to have individual microphones, wireless mics, and we are blessed with that at my school. So we're going to be using that. So I'll have to have some students who are trained on how to adjust the volume on those individually. I know how to do that. It's one of the few things I know how to do. So I can show them how to do that, but it'll be really important to get the students well trained on that. What else? There was so much stuff. I really liked the chapter about the ground plan. So what a ground plan is it's a two-dimensional drawing. It's like a floor plan if you were an interior designer or somebody who fills up spaces. It's basically like that, but for your set. So it should show the stage, the backstage area where the audience will be, what's going on in the wings, whatever space you have. So I need to take some measurements because I'm going to be really anal about mine. So my plan is tomorrow to go to school and have my stage manager help me measure so that I can make a very accurate um, plan on graph paper of how the stage measures and then photocopy that into my book so that one side of the book is the script and then the other side will have a copy of the floor plan of the stage, and then I can draw in whatever stationary objects are going to be part of the ground plan. So the ground plan includes the stage area around the stage, and then anything that's going to be stationary on the stage. So walls, furniture, possibly trees, um, and so how to plan that out. There's some considerations that need to be made. So if you want to go for realism, then if you have actors going off stage to a certain place, whenever another actor is going to that same place, they would need to use the same exit to get there. The book recommended having actors exit and enter from different sides of the stage to help create interest, and to make it more organic looking, because usually people don't just come from one side. So I'm going to have to think about where to place entrances and exits. I've been thinking about making part of Epimetheus's house on one side of the stage, and then having the rest of the stage be outside, and then having the sea on the other side, because Pandora's daughter is going to drown in the sea, and Pandora throws the box to her. So trying to figure out how we're going to set that in relation to upstage and downstage, and how to make sure that when the characters are entering, they're entering facing the audience and exiting facing the audience. So those are some things to consider. Another thing that they talked about in the ground plan is how important it is to place furniture strategically, so not blocking entrances or exits, maybe leaving space around the furniture so that actors can walk around it, but trying to be aware of sight lines, so what the audience can and cannot see depending on where furniture is staged or where walls are, so they're able to see the action, and so that it looks organic. So I've got a lot to think about over the course of the week. The book strongly suggested working with the set designers, like have your vision in place as a director ahead of time, but be willing to be flexible and work with the designers. I've already started talking to my stage manager, who's also an artist, and has experience with pretty much everything, talking about mechanics of having a moving sea, and how we can fit that onto the stage. And then I've got some advanced art students who are interested in working on set design. So I think it would be cool if they want to build a 3D model. I'm not going to make them, but I think that would be something that would be a valuable experience for them. And then just remaining flexible is really important, because when you get the people on the stage, things can change too. The chapter also talked about making sure that your ground plan has balance. As an art teacher, I completely understand how important balance is. It can completely make or break a composition. So my thinking is that asymmetrical balance would look more natural. The book said that as well. I think perfectly symmetrical balance might be really good for a special effect, like if you had a round window and somebody standing in there, or symmetrical lights might create a really neat effect for certain plays. Probably not the one that I'm doing, except for maybe in the beginning we could use symmetrical balance with our Wheel of Time and have the chorus around them, but I'll have to think about that. I think for most of the play, asymmetrical balance would be more correct, because when I looked at the script, the playwright, the style of the playwright is more realistic than spectacle, like theatricalism. It's not concrete realism, because we have some special effects in there, so it's more of a modified realism, which I think I like that, because it makes the story believable, but then it also has elements of, wonder and surprise that will help keep the audience intrigued. So I think that's what I'm going to go for mine. So I'm really looking forward to measuring the stage tomorrow and coming up with a plan, a written out plan. I think that's going to save me a lot of time. And I really, really appreciated the chapter about music, because it got me really thinking. And I'm glad that I read this before doing auditions. I've got auditions tomorrow, so that's going to add another layer of what I'm looking for when I'm doing those tomorrow. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.